guys and dolls, welcome back to Queenie of London. You find me right in the heart of the city of London because today I'm going to go and see a little memorial service that is one of London's quirkiest little customs. Now, last week's vlog, well, it was more than a week ago now, but I showed you two of my London heroes, and inside that very beautiful survivor of a church, because it survived the Great Fire of London, that's St Andrew's undershaft, inside there is buried another of my London heroes. Let's go inside. Welcome inside this incredible church. This very one was built in 1532, but there's been a place of worship on this very site since the 12th century. We've gathered here today to witness not a religious ceremony, but one of London's most curious customs, called the service of replacing the quill at the John Stow Memorial. But who exactly was John Stow, and what has he got to do with this church, and why have we all come to see a quill? John Stow, who was laid to rest here in 1605, was a Londoner and a merchant tailor who walked the streets of the capital to compile its first ever complete and authentic description, a survey of London, which was published in 1598. His remarkable marble memorial in the corner of the church was commissioned by his wife Elizabeth. It shows the Tudor antiquarian writing away at his desk, surrounded by books and manuscripts representing those he amassed during his lifetime, and together formed quite a colossal collection. Every 3 years, the quill in Stow's writing hand is replaced with a new one in an act which honours one of the capital's greatest cultural figures. Peter Ackroyd, another of the city's finest biographers, declared the changing of the quill ceremony to be a solemn token of the fact that the writing of London's history will never come to an end. What makes Stow's survey noteworthy isn't just that it was the first of its kind, but that as well as being based on a wealth of historical, civic and public record, it was also loaded with the evidence of the author's own eyes and ears. This was Stow's home, and the reader of his still published book walks with him through it, experiencing London exactly as he experienced it. Another astounding thing about Stow, his name is not to be found in any of the records of city schools, universities, nor at the Inns of Court, so it seems that his command of Latin and of the English language, as well as his historical knowledge and skill at approaching documents, was gained entirely through self-study. The Survey of London was not Stow's only work. In fact, at the time of his death, he was the most prolific writer of history in the 16th century. He wrote on Chaucer, Skelton, and shone a light on forgotten poetry of antiquity, as well as producing whole volumes dedicated to Britain, alongside handy pocket guides to her past. Completing all this came at the expense of his work as a tailor, and towards the end of his life he relied on others for support, including the Guild of the Merchant Tailors, whose symbols can be seen above his memorial. The Merchant Tailors Company and the London and Middlesex Archaeological Society celebrate Stow here in this ceremony every 3 years. This year, the Quill was replaced by the Master Merchant Tailor, who rotates in his role with the Lord Mayor. The service was conducted by the rector of St Helens Bishopsgate. It was really lovely, full of prayers and readings, and there was a beautiful blessing before the beadle, the verger, the church warden, the members of the two groups, and the reverend led a procession out of the church. Above the effigy of Stow is inscribed the most perfect motto. Translated from the Latin, it reads, "Either do things worth writing about, or write things worth reading." Just as she always has done, London continues to give us the opportunity to do both. I was so pleased I attended this little ceremony today, as it really brought home the need to not only remember the people of London's past, but to keep telling their and their city's stories.